All right, guys, so a few days ago we did a video where we kind of showed how this baby leaked, and we're going to put a new one up here. This has been a crazy couple of days. Jack's been super involved with the whole swim team thing, swim practice, swim meets, all that, and I've been very busy with work, but we got to get this done before we leave for this little mini vacation. Again, you guys probably aren't even going to see any of these videos till after that, but we wanted to kind of keep you up to date here. So let me turn this around and show you what I've been doing these last couple of days, kind of like before and after work and on my lunch breaks here, trying to get this all set up before we leave. All right, these guys seem to be doing fine. Doesn't seem like there's any casualties. In fact, you can see that big whiptail sitting right on top of the trunk there. All the angelfish seem like they're doing pretty good. So, yeah, I did take out a little bit of water and put some back in, did a little mini water change. Hopefully those galaxy plecos that are in here are okay. The one that's in the little beach tank, princess tank, seems to be doing fine. And it seems like there's going to be some babies coming out of there, so that's cool. We'll do an update on that after all this. All this seems fine, so we're getting ready to kind of put some of this back in. I did get the tank done this far. George is coming here, me talking. You waking up from a little evening slumber there? This is actually after work. Pamela's still at work. Jack's at a swim meet, so here's how far we got. Let me turn this off just to give you guys an idea of what's going on here. What we did is, whoops, I hit the camera there. What we did here is, this is basically the size of the tank that we used to have here, the used one that we had before this 75 that we used temporarily. This is 110 gallon. It is about 6 or 7 inches taller than the 75, which is initially what we wanted. What we decided to do with this is, real quick, I took some flat black paint and I painted the back of this tank. Now, as you can see, it came out pretty awesome. By only doing one coat, it basically had this kind of starry evening night effect. It was just a roller and some flat black paint that we had sitting around, and we did one little coat on here. Came out pretty much exactly how we wanted it to come out. What we did is we took some Christmas lights, because we really like this starry night kind of thing. Instead of doing the glitter paint, we did like the flat black. Anytime we do something like this, we kind of want it to be a little bit different. It's always like an experimentation to us. So we really like how this one came out. These are basically the same Christmas lights that we have on our Christmas tree. They're these little tiny LED kind of guys. And they do have two modes. One, of course, is off, one is on, and then, watch out, George. I step on you, buddy. He's like right under my feet. The other mode is this little sparkling mode. And I'm going to turn off some of these other lights here so you can see a little better. There we go. I'll step back here. So one is this like sparkling mode. And again, we did this on both of the previous tanks, but we really like this theme with the galaxy plecos and the angelfish and the night sky and things like that. What Jack suggested to make it a little different is, he said, instead of putting the paper on the back, why don't you leave the back open to see what it looks like? And you may remember from those designs, we put like a black paper on the back so that, you know, it was dark. And in his room, we have these meteorite lights, and we don't have a back on them, and it kind of has this back accent. Honestly, I'm kind of digging that. I'm going to back up a little more here so you can see. Isn't that kind of cool how it has that back lighting effect? It's almost like an explosion looking star coming out of the back there. See all that kind of stuff? So I'm actually going to try that for this one. That was a great suggestion. Now you'll notice in the middle we don't really have many lights there, and that's because that's where the big trunk goes with the Anubias plants, and so we just didn't waste the lights. The way this sparkling effect works is only every 5th or 6th light sparkles, so it's really kind of neat. It's not like overdone. We got these for like, I want to say about $10 or $12. We weren't very expensive. And then we got it from Menards, just like we buy a lot of stuff because we love Menards. So the only difference about this is you can kind of see, I mean, if you look at the big tank here, you can't really see behind him. You can see some cords, but it's closer to the wall. This one's a little bit further off. So we may put like, you know, a board or a piece of plastic kind of blocking this, just to kind of, so you don't see that. Honestly, I don't really mind it, to be honest with you. And I do really like that back effect. on the wall. I think it's actually really cool, and that is like a dark corner. So we're just probably gonna leave it that way. Now you may notice that there's some boards here. One of the problems that we had with this stand and this tank and the way that it was made is a lot of people who know aquariums, this trim, this kind of sits on the edge of that trim. Well, for some reason, it was so incredibly close that there was only like a millimeter around the edge. And that made us a little unsettled, especially because we've had problems in this corner with tanks before. We wanted this to have a better surface area. So while we were at Menards, I got some shelves and basically just put them down so that this, again, it really made us nervous the way that this was almost sitting inside that cuff, if you will, from the things. Now you can see this tank here, how we had made here, was custom made. And this gentleman made this come up around the tank. So the tank actually sits inside. Now the way that this tank over here works is it actually sits on top, which is how it's supposed to be. But for some reason, these two styles of tank and stand together don't match up perfectly. And that one was sitting just on the edge, just barely like a millimeter. And that made us nervous. And we did not want to continue to progress it that way. So what we did is we put these kind of shelves across. We got these shelves for like $7 each for a few of them. And it's kind of like black and gray. I'll turn the lights back on so you can see it. It's kind of like black and gray looking, and just kind of gives a little bit of a kind of shelf that just makes us a little less nervous. This is like the plastic coated kind of shelving. But again, it just kind of levels it all out and just makes it so we're not nervous about that tiny little edge. It does, however, go all the way back to the wall. So it kind of just makes like a little shelf there, which actually isn't really a problem. But we did drill some holes in it. I did have to drill holes in here as well because, of course, we're going to do those under gravel lights. And we'll show how to do that and everything in some future videos. But, you know, for those that haven't seen our tank videos, we do like to use the under gravel lights. So I took a doorknob thing, and of course this under gravel filter was modified. We basically cut a hole through it and took a little hurricane or glass holder type of piece of glass and siliconed it in so that the under gravel filter wouldn't be compromised. That glass goes all the way and touches the bottom, basically just makes a little portal in the under gravel tank so that the light can shine through these big kind of like, you know, terracotta pots. And so we're still going to have the under gravel lights and all that. So again, just drilled a couple extra holes here while I was drilling those so we could take the quartz through. And we might take a piece of board or plastic here. We're not exactly sure. We certainly don't have to do it on the top because no one can see over this. I mean, you'd have to be pretty tall. And of course, you can't see the back in this side. But I do like the effect that light has spraying on the side. So I may just leave it, quite honestly. It's not that big a deal to have a couple things behind it. So anyway, there you go. So far, that's how it's looking. I'll show you this background again, turn some of these lights off. This is coming out really good. So anyway, this is the first step, the first stage in this. What I'm gonna do here, the rest of tonight, get this, I just can't get over that. I love how that light looks behind it. I just can't get over how awesome that looks. Can't wait till this is done to see how it all looks. Anyway, that's what it's all about for us, experimenting and trying new things and trying different things. You know, if you're gonna do something, why do it the same? So tonight, I'm gonna get these pots back over these under gravel light things here, get the gravel back in here, get the trunk and get everything back in here, fill it up. Again, this gravel is still exactly the same gravel. After putting some dechlor in, you know, I really shouldn't have to acclimate these guys at all. I should really be able to pretty much put them right back in here and it's just gonna be right back up. Since the gravel and the substrate and the under gravel filters and everything is the same, it should pretty much just go right back to normal. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be the first kind of video, just showing the first step here. I'm digging this stand, I'm digging how everything's going on. I think Jack's gonna love it. I am actually gonna pick him up from school tomorrow, and anything that we haven't completed, we'll probably do a video together, kind of showing everything done. And then after we get back from our little vacation, we will probably make some adaptations do the glass and do some glass drilling and kind of some of those specific things that don't just need to be done right now. So this will be kind of a 3-part series. So again, guys, as always, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out. I already got the tube in there, ready to fill it up after I get the gravel in there. Tell everybody to like and subscribe there, George, okay? George, you paying attention? You going to help me since Jack's not here tonight? You got to help me out here, buddy, okay? Jack will be here tomorrow. Say bye to everybody. He's like, I hate when you put that camera in my face. All right, see you guys later. We'll be back in a few days with this hopefully finished.